Hey everybody, this is Cedric from Red Bandit, and today I'll be showing you a bit of my process of the Captain America shield. Oh yeah, America. So yeah, let's get to it then. Of course, first start with a circle. By the way, this is not a tutorial, I'm just going over the a very sped up process of... So yeah, the shield. I actually used as a concept art the original from the comics, and then for the shaders and stuff and the details I used the one from the cinematic universe. The only main difference is that the star is less pointy in the not in the original concept art. So yeah, except for that, it pretty much resembles the one from the cinematic universe. So here I'm trying to get the curve right in the star and the middle thing, rim, which was not actually a very easy job because the topology actually wasn't good enough to get that curve in. So I had to find another way, and I just flatten it out, as you can see here. Put in the details in first, and the little rims. Just gives it a nice little look. Okay, I flatten it out, and then I added a lattice. Yeah, here we go. So I curved out the lattice, applied it to the star and the middle rim, and then it came out quite nicely. Had to align some basic shapes there, and then we were good to go. I used a kind of metal-y matte cap to see if the curve was right. And then, yeah, basic shield is not that hard to model actually. The straps are a little bit harder. Well, it's a lot of details. So yeah, I had to find a way to get the straps like strapped on the shield. So what I did was make a basic circle that had the same shape as the shield, and I used a shrink wrap modifier to actually get the straps well wrapped on the shield. Adjusting some settings there. Very cool. Yeah, America. So yeah, next step, adding some details, adding some more harder edges to make it all look metal-y. And then went forward and added some topology to bring in the details. Yeah, all pretty basic stuff. Using a mirror modifier on both axes saves me a lot of work. Made the bolts. Actually used a data link for this. Linked the object data so I could adjust the bolts afterwards and would not be forced to change all of the bolts. Though I did notice if you copy multiple objects with Alt D, it doesn't link the object data, which is weird. Put in some more details. This was a bit, yeah, because well, the easiest thing to do in this is when you work with the local, if you really work with the global x-axis or the local x-axis and y-axis, then you can scale stuff in the right direction. Which in this case I couldn't, so I had to make a couple of new objects. Oh, here's something nifty that I found, Alt S, which is actually a scale through normals, a scale by normals. So you can actually scale without, well, losing the proportions of your object. I'm actually not sure if that's scaling by normals, but it scales nicely so. So I made a triangle ring here, which got me in a lot of trouble afterwards with the belts, but I don't know. Yeah, well, the most important part here is that I used reference, but I didn't 100% use the reference, so I watched the reference and tried to model it without being like 100% accurate, and I know that's not the best thing to do. But I didn't have any like perfect back views from the shield. Like I only found one picture and didn't even know if that was an official prop from the movie or that was just fan made. So yeah, as long as it works, right? I'm making the belt here. Was yeah, pretty basic stuff. So I made an area with the belt, made a Bezier curve, and then applied a curve modifier to the belt to get it in the right shape. And yeah, scaled it a bit to make it the right width and stuff. And yeah, then I had to adjust some stuff to actually get it right. I used a lot of proportional editing with the belt, which is not, I mean, in my opinion, not a very good tool when modeling non-organic. Well, of course, it's not a good tool to shape non-organic meshes, but well, leather is kind of organic and give a nice view on the leather there. So yeah, made some more basic beziers to make the belts on which he straps his arms. And then I was caught in a little discussion on how to do this properly. Yeah, you can see sometimes like the image freeze, but it's actually me just taking a break, or me being looking at reference on my other screen. I'm having way too much programs open, by the way. So yeah, just using proportional editing here to put some of the rings, well, the leather in the rings, and adjust some of the rings, and actually put the belts for the arms a bit down to make it, give it more of a hanging feel. Yeah, then I just deleted some vertices here and inset the, well, filled and insetted these shapes there to just bring in the holes. And then I start shading, yay! So I use procedural shading with some tileable textures, because I think it's the best way to make like realistic, bring in some realistic stuff. I have an environment texture, I adjusted some of the mapping. You can see on the left bottom that I have my world nodes on, to actually get the lightning a bit cooler. So yeah, then I messed around with the middle circle, which gave me some trouble because the anisotroptic filter I use, which give it like this very cool like shading, it rotates around the local z-axis, and because, well, all objects are rotated, they have a rotation value of like 90 degrees, so they actually all point up except for the middle part. So I had to like apply the rotation and rotate it again and actually apply all my modifiers, because I used an array modifier with an object. So yeah, that happened. So yeah, I put in a texture here, which actually I saw had a very obvious artifact, which is not very good in tileable, well, in tile textures. It came directly from CGTextures, so I was kind of surprised by that, because normally CGTextures textures are awesome. Here I used some rusty scratches to bring in like some grungy, scratchy things. But the tiles were too obvious, so I actually combined it with a... oh, by the way, yeah, you can see here me doing some layout stuff to make all the things more, well, tidy. So yeah, here I filled with some noise textures and the scratches to actually remove the tileable feel, the tile feel. So yeah, and then applied some more noises to it to give them a bit more grungy feel, because it's a kind of ash, it's kind of war-like textures. Then I apply the paint. And the paint is a little bit more matte, so the roughness of the anisotrophic is a bit higher, and combine it with a diffuse with some Fresnel, which is awesome. Yeah, and fiddle some bit around. Yeah, the reason why I don't do tutorials when I do things like these is because I don't know how to do this. I mostly, well, I know how to do the basic stuff, but then I mostly try out. I mean, the main part for me for these things is to learn and to get small things right in smaller projects, so when I work on bigger projects I know how to do stuff. So yeah, and the Iron Man helmet was like, for instance, to hard surface and scratches on edges and stuff, a bit of a study, and this is more like, yeah, for making real simple objects really cool and yeah, applying some cool scratches and stuff and make it all look cool. So yeah, here I do the leather. The leather is actually also procedural with a Voronoi texture that also does some displacement and some basic glossy and diffuse shaders combined. Yeah, so fiddle around here a bit, put the displacement a little bit lower because it was a bit too harsh. Put some more noise in the leather to make it more, well, leathery, and adjust the color somewhat to make it more fit with the shield. I think it's in some cases like you don't have to be like, oh yeah, but leather is that color, but if it looks cool. I mean, the shading on most of the Marvel posters aren't even realistic, so if it looks cool, it's cool. So yeah, then I rendered it out. I also made a small animation to showcase some of the shaders. As you can see here, it looks pretty neat. Kind of proud of it. There's some dynamic lighting going on there. Funky. Well, yeah, I hope you enjoyed it. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you soon again, I hope. Okay, thanks. Bye-bye.